Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching My Media Prime Television. This is a 6:30 p.m. edition of news coming to you live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. My name is Fon Quinter. Begin today's edition of Prime News in the Southwest region, where as cholera sweeps across parts of the region, elites are intensifying the fight against the disease. These elites have been donating to assist medical personnel and government fight cholera out of the Southwest region in particular and Cameroon in general. Catherine Kongwe completes the story.
As cholera sweeps through the Fako division, several donations have been made by elites of the Southwest region to fight the disease. Professor Pauline Nolinga, Minister of Secondary Education, has added 1 million to cholera fund, while Honorable Gladys Etombi-Ekomi of Fako East constituency has donated more beds to contain the influx of patients, and CDC offers 20 beds to contain the new wave of cholera in the region.
When we insist on toilets, people think we're joking, but look at all these diseases that are connected to bad toilets, things like that. Yes. But thank you that you're doing so well. I just learned about it today, so I decided I must be here. I will need for somebody to, can you send somebody with me to hotel? I'll send you 1 million right now.
Okay.
Wow. So you can.
According to Gladys Etombi-Ekomi of Fako East constituency, the cholera situation is horrible and there is need for help.
Terrible. But feeling terrible doesn't solve the problem. You see, when you have challenges, you must be able to find a way forward. And the way forward is to help the patients through the medical staff. We went to the hospital with the mayor and the director of the hospital in Bota. We met people on the lawns because the hospital cannot carry the crowd of people who are affected already. We thank God that the medical staff is there to do what they have to do, and they are doing their best. We were told that they have a shortage of mattresses.
She went further to advise those who are not yet infected to be careful and follow preventive measures.
I just want to say that for those of us who are not yet affected, please let us try and be clean with our attitudes, washing of hands, eating clean food and clean fruits, and drinking clean water. You can boil your water. You can use a little bit of eau de javel. A drop would help to disinfect your water so that you do not get infected.
Professor Nolinga calls on everyone to be prudent and keep sanitation measures to be able to combat this disease. So far, close to 2,000 cases have been recorded in the Southwest region, with Flimbe having the highest record of 680 cases as of Tuesday, March 22, 2022.
Let's now talk activities marking the celebration of the 37th anniversary of the ruling CPDM political party, and will begin in the Northwest region, where it took place at the Bamenda Congress Hall. Militants promised to remain loyal to the party and work towards ensuring peace in the crisis-hit region. Charles Kebwa was at the Congress Hall and files in details.
Celebrations to mark the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement CPDM 37th anniversary in Bamenda. Celebrations took place at the Bamenda Congress Hall, birthplace of the party, with militants and sympathizers of the CPDM party reaffirmed their loyalty and unflinching support to the party, and Head of State President Paul Biya acknowledged they have every reason to celebrate development strides of the party.
The youth have been given power to be the ones to manage their affairs in this region. Go same in the regional assembly. You go in the regional assembly, the majority of the regional councillors, they are youth. That's to say the CPDM party, the head of state has put in place a policy to bring youth into power.
There have been a lot of development in the region and in Cameroon, and most especially in my area where I come from, Jinicom. As a matter of fact, with the advent of the CPDM, Jinicom has experienced schools being spotted everywhere as if it is mushroom. There have been a lot of development in the area of infrastructure, roads, construction of schools, and even the extension of electricity.
Philemon Yang, leader of the Northwest Permanent Delegation of the CPDM Center Committee to the region, in a message of peace, said the CPDM is working towards ensuring solution for peace in the restive Northwest. Celebrating on the theme, let us mobilize behind the national president in order to ensure the specificity of our country in the relentless peace building, unity, solidarity, and progress in Cameroon nation resolutely turned towards shared emergence. Officials took various speakers, reminded supporters to be transparent, disciplined, and stay put in the face of the crisis.
The party has always stood for peace, and we believe that everybody is beginning to see with us. First of all, we're very happy with the humanity that we celebrated this in. And to say that the objectives of our party have been firm, we have seen the essence of decentralization, and we are seeing projects, and we just call that the whole region should return to normality to fully tap into the benefits of doing things their own way.
The day was graced with traditional dance, and in a motion, supporters promised to remain loyal to their party, the CPDM.
Still in line with CPDM anniversary in the Northwest region, militants of nsah section used the anniversary of the party to channel some of their worries, one of which is the need for their municipality to be raised to a division. Get developments of this story right ahead. Militants of CPDM nsah section have echoed the need for their municipality to be raised to a division. This was part of appeals made at the 37th anniversary of the party.
Carved it even. So about 5 subdivisions. That was a proposal that was sent ahead. So we're still waiting for the authorities that be to make that situation to become practicable. And we're very happy. We put the name, to the best of my knowledge, was Lefo, which is a mountain here in Santa. Lefo division. Except that the government decides otherwise to change. I think that's the proposal that we gave.
These militants who braved all odds are a proof of resilience, a people who have lived between the hammer and anvil within the context of the crisis. They have decided to put all internal party squabbles aside to embrace a new era of peace, love, and unity.
My speech in the hall with this statement, united we stand, divided we fall. The turnout today is evident that we worked in synergy. We worked in synergy, and we'll keep working like that to have better results.
Regrouping at the Santa Council Hall, the militants affirmed their support to the head of state in appreciation of numerous opportunities offered the people. The height of activities was the installation of the new section executive under Mba Shupong Michael, director of the Northwest Livestock Development Fund. The newly elected president and his team was advised to work on synergy.
Also advised the incoming president, or the newly elected president, permit me to say, put it that way, to avoid having camps, to bring the people together, make sure that when there is a problem, we sit down, consult, dialogue, and solve. Instead of writing anonymous letters left and right, accusing people under the bed, under the table, I think it's not fair.
He takes office with a mandate to rebuild the party's image, which is threatened by separatist activities, ensure unity as a measure yardstick for his mandate, and guarantee the participation of militants in elections as their victory too. Over in Kribi, CPDM militants have tendered their motion of support to His Excellency Paul Biya through their leader Lucien Celestine Nolinga, with details on how the day was celebrated in Kribi, Ocean Division of the South region.
During this recent outing to commemorate the 37th anniversary of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement CPDM's anniversary, the charismatic political leader Lucien Celestin Piado, an elite of the Ocean Division of the South Region of Cameroon, who doubles as president-elect of the Rural North CPDM Kribi subsection, has seized this occasion in appreciating militants for having acclaimed him by renewing his mandate despite a bitterly discussed internal ballot.
Je vous dis sincèrement merci.
I sincerely want to thank you all for your 100% support towards me during the elections. Thank you for this confidence. I'm engaged to serving not only the party, but I remain faithful to the vision of His Excellency, President Paul Biya. And according to Lucien Piado, this subsection can be likened to Cameroon in miniature due to the ethnic diversity that exists. Still during the Giga meeting, Lucien is accompanied by his fellow militants from other subsections, some of whom have saluted his vision thus. Lucien is like the star in the sky that brings us light. He is a faithful son to the entire region. Like Paul Biya, you are a symbol of reunification. Overwhelmed with joy, the militants continue to affirm their undeniable support for the subsection president, Lucien Piado. On their part, after offering their president with the symbolic gifts, the militants also went forth in explaining the symbolism of the gifts thus.
Mon ami, mon frère, mon compagnon de lutte.
And it can be said that for a long time, the Longi Stadium had never experienced such a mobilization.
From the South region, we take you to the Southwest region, where members of the ruling CPDM political party celebrated their 37th anniversary in grand style. Moki Reagan with details.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to CPDM.
The insecurity nature of Moyoka subdivision in the southwest region of the country could not stop militants of FACO 2 session of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, in the celebration of the 37th anniversary of their party, with Honorable Findy Stanley at the front line as session president.
The militants of FACO 2 section, Moyoka subdivision, for having turned out massively, for having proven to the nation that they are not indifferent in the celebration of the 37th anniversary of our beloved party. As you know, 37 years a year of maturity. During this year, today, we had the opportunity to appraise what the party has done for us, for the nation, and for Moyoka in particular.
The militants came out in their numbers from Ekona, Moyoka, Yoke, and other villages division to celebrate their party 37th birthday.
Our president,
Celebration witnessed the presence of the divisional officer from Moyoka subdivision, traditional rulers, and other top administrative officials in Moyoka subdivision. The 37th anniversary in FACO 2 session Moyoka was characterized with speeches, cutting of the party cake, animation, motion of support to President Paul Biya, and a march past with Honorable Findy calling on the militants to rally behind the party chairman, President Paul Biya.
The message is setting. For 37 years, we've won all the elections. Today, we had the opportunity to install the subsection executive members of the 30 subsections of FACO 2. They are on the field. They have been working since the reorganization. The CPDM party is the only party that is greatly represented in all the hoops and corners of the nation. So, my message is clear. The future elections is victory, 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 and nothing else other than victory.
It should be noted that before yesterday's celebration, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Fako East constituency, Honorable Findin Stanley, has spotted in different villages in Moyoka subdivision, mobilizing militants to come out at mass for a successful celebration of the 37th anniversary of their party.
Away from CPDM anniversary, Chief of Defense Staff General Rene Claude Maker has applauded efforts of troops deployed to preserve peace in the northwest region of the country. He was in Bamenda yesterday, March 24, to assess the level of security. Nora Kakebi with details.
Following instructions and recommendations on security issues at the beginning of this year to ensure a successful Total Energies AFCON 2021, Lieutenant General Rene Claude Maker, Chief of Defense Staff, visited the restive Northwest region to assess if all was in place. Upon arrival in Bamenda, the Lieutenant General and his entourage were welcomed by the commander of the 5th Joint Military Battalion, Brigadier General Nkar Valer, Brigadier General Ekongwese Divine Noko, and a host of top defense and security officers in the region. While at a stock-taking meeting at the 501 Air Force Base in Bafut, the Chief of Defense Staff saluted the efforts of the troops in safeguarding Cameroon's territorial boundaries against separatist excesses. Contrary to claims by the separatist fighters that the Total Energies AFCON will not hold in the various designated towns because of their proximity to the restive Northwest region, Rene Claude Maker once again congratulated the troops for their professionalism in the discharge of their duties. Among other things, he also assessed the health situation in the Northwest region in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, it was an opportunity for him to listen to the challenges of the troops and encourage them to continue protecting the territorial boundaries of the Republic of Cameroon.
Now, the challenges in science education have been preoccupying officials of the sector in Cameroon. It is against this backdrop that a 3-day seminar to address the lapses and propose correct actions have come to an end at the Catholic University of Central Africa in Yaoundé. The workshop is an initiative of the Philosophy Department of the institution, supported by the Ministry of Scientific Research and Innovation. Center Regional Correspondent Colette Lung with details.
The international curriculum comes as a solution to problems related to the trainings of teachers in Catholic University of Central Africa, one of which is a challenge of science subjects, as most students tend to escape any of such to dwell only on arts subjects. It is in this regard that the Ministry of Scientific Research and Innovation intends working hand in glove with the Catholic institution in finding a quick solution to these issues of quality teaching, especially in the science domain.
Train our students to be able to create work and to be employed easily.
For 3 days, these panelists have been brainstorming on pedagogic and reforms as per today's challenges and the role of teachers for a quality and inclusive education.
Colloquium is to reform the educational system. We are educating many young people, but the problem of employment is there. We want to give them a better future.
The curriculum, which has come to an end today in Yaoundé, was organized by the Department of Philosophy, who are therefore hoping that the knowledge acquired these 3 days by the science teachers will go a long way to improve on science subjects in the country and encourage students to venture in this sector.
And news on the African continent, our reporter Eileen Smith made a brief stop in Mozambique, Ethiopia and Ghana. She put together the following.
For our African news, let's begin in Mozambique, where the authorities have imposed a partial ban on South African imports of cattle, goats, sheep, pigs, and yam meat and byproducts following an outbreak of foot and mouth disease in the neighboring country. The ban covers products from the South African provinces of Northwest, Limpopo, and Natal provinces. The 3 provinces reported an outbreak of the disease earlier this week. It is worth mentioning that Mozambique's National Directorate for Livestock Development also banned the importation of cattle fodder from the 3 provinces. Nonetheless, the ban does not prohibit the importation of pasteurized dairy products, heat-processed meats, or pharmaceutical substances. Over in Ethiopia, the authorities in the Ethiopian region of Tigray say they will do everything within their reach to ensure the success of a ceasefire. However, the Ethiopian government earlier announced an indefinite humanitarian truce in the country's civil war. The Tigrayan forces in a statement said that they were committed to a pause in hostilities as long as the government took concrete steps to allow aid to the troubled region. For the record, the fighting has left more than 5 million people needing food aid, but no deliveries have reached Tigray for months. Note here that both sides accuse each other of blocking supplies. Elsewhere in Ghana, the Ghanaian government has announced a series of measures including injecting $2 billion into the economy to help prop up its falling currency and slashing the salaries of government appointees, including ministers and heads of state-owned enterprises by 30%. According to Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, the measures were to help Ghana cope with the impact of COVID-19 and the current rise in crude oil prices caused by the Ukrainian war. The Ghanaian finance minister during a press conference also announced that a further 10% cut in government spending as well as a more than 1% reduction in prices of petroleum products will be effected. It should be recalled that the West African country has been struggling to deal with the rising cost of living due to inflation and the falling value of its currency, the cedi. However, Ghana's central bank early this week also increased the interest rate for lending to commercial banks to 70%, and according to experts, the move will increase the cost of borrowing for individuals and businesses.
Eileen Samasto on the African continent and today's edition of Prime News on My Media, Prime Television. My name is Fon Quinter. I'll meet again next week for another edition of news. Have a blessed week and the company of more programs on the African Eye. Good night.